Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40k Universe. I am your host, Gershwin, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we learn how a Commissar becomes a Commissar. If you guys have any suggestions for Warhammer 40k topics that you guys would like us to create a video for, comment down below. Put suggestion followed by whatever that topic may be. That's just our way of filtering. It helps us pick out the suggestions quicker if you put suggestion right next to suggestion. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts about the Commissars. Commissars are trained from a young age to be strict upholders of the Imperial Creed and its associated strictures by the Schola Progenium, which serves the purpose of education and military training centers for commissarial cadets, grenadiers, and stormtroopers for all Imperial Guard regiments. The Schola Progenium takes children who were orphaned when their parents perished in the service of the Emperor of Mankind, from daughters of Imperial Guard officers killed on the battlefield, to sons of Imperial administrators lost in the far reaches of space, and trains them to become the backbone of Imperial society as servants of the various branches of the Adeptus Terra. Those who pass through the Schola Progenium are called progena, and they receive an education like no other. The fundamental cornerstone of life in the Schola Progenium is harsh discipline. From the day they first don their gray garb, the progena learn that the God Emperor has no use for infirmity of purpose or weakness, and pain is merely an illusion of the untrained mind. Swift correction, prayer, fasting, and contemplation are the tools by which a mind of rigid purpose and faith is formed, the cornerstone of the Schola's teaching. A progena's education moves through predetermined phases, beginning with illiteracy and the basic theology of the Imperial Creed, and progressing on through history, politics, and contemplation of the Imperial Saints, rhetoric, and leadership skills. The curriculum does not stop at honing the intellect either, as all progena are trained in physical endurance and skills at arms by the infamous drill abbots. The drill abbots are hardened veterans and have usually spent half their lives in Imperial military service. Stern, stoic, unforgiving, and relentless, the lessons imparted by the drill abbots will stay with the progena for their entire lives. During the Age of Apostasy in the 36th millennium, most of the Schola Progenium were corrupted and rife with slavery and depravity. Orphans were used as slave labor in factories and mines, making goods for the ecclesiarchy. Particularly promising individuals were sold to imperial commanders as slaves and servants, and the most attractive became concubines for imperial nobles. The most physically adept were sent to train as frateris templars, or brides of the emperor, swelling the corrupt and tyrannical Apostle Cardinal Gouge Van Dyer's army with base recruits. The habitats themselves became associated with horrible practices, and their money was put to questionable ends. In dire contrast, each habitat now maintains a strict separation between the two genders, and contact between them is restricted purely to religious ceremonies. Only with this purity can the progena hope to be elevated to a position within the Emperor's domain. As they mature, the progena are groomed for the place they shall take in the service of the Imperium. Many are taken into the ecclesiarchy, administratum, or some other division of the Adeptus Terra, while others of martial leaning find their place in the officer cadres of the Imperial Armed Forces, or as an arbitor or Adeptus Arbitus. The finest progena are recruited into the most specialized of the Imperium's elite, such as the Commissariat or the Adeptus Sororitas, and a very few of the most talented are inducted directly into the Inquisition. From the beginning, progena who are destined to become commissars train in military exercises, weapon proficiency, hand-to-hand combat, and religious studies. All these tools are directed at ensuring the total dedication of the student and developing the ability for them to deliver the Emperor's justice without hesitation or remorse. After attaining suitable age and education at one of these many Schola Progenium institutions, a potential commissar is assigned to a regiment in the Imperial Guard at the rank of Commissar Cadet, akin to the rank of private in the Guard, and under the tutelage of either the regiment's commanding officer or another commissar. These young soldiers form their own units of 10 or 20 cadets, led by a veteran commissar and armed with the ubiquitous lasgun, like all other regular guardsmen. Guard commanders consider themselves fortunate when a commissar cadet unit joins their campaign, for the cadets fight with a ferociousness and courage uncommon even to the elite units of the Imperial Guard. Some of this may be put down to the fact that they will be executed if they falter or retreat on the battlefield. But most commissar cadets are so dedicated to the cause of mankind that they will eventually go on to become fully ordained commissars if they do not die in combat. Other Imperial Guardsmen see the Commissar Cadet unit as a blessing from the Emperor himself, and as an omen of certain victory. Promotion to full Commissar status happens only when the Commissar Cadet unit's observer considers a cadet ready, and this can take any length of time depending on the commanding Commissar in question. Cadet Commissars are equipped with the standard gear of a regular Guardsman, although they maintain their own usual Commissar panoply: leather long coats, gloves, jacket boots, and high peak caps. Their uniforms are only different slightly from a full Commissar, by featuring blue trim and the Cadet's Commissar emblem instead of the usual Death's Head emblem of a full Commissar. Their training has no set duration, and the Cadet Commissar will only graduate to full Commissar status upon being deemed worthy by the Commissariat. Those that fail in their duty but have not shown the cowardice or insubordination are relieved of their duties. Commissar cadets who fail in their training can often get a commission in a penal battalion. Others volunteer for service in a rogue trader's entourage. Sometimes their destiny will be decided by the Commissar General or Commissar under whom the ex-cadet trained. After the rank of a cadet commissar comes junior commissars. They are subordinate to a full commissar, performing the role as a junior aide in the oversight of a regiment or voidship assigned to a full commissar. They primarily perform as adjutants and an investigator role, as well as carrying out the usual commissarial duties, though they do not have permission to perform executions without prior consent from a higher ranking officer. Junior officers often undertake their commissarial role with smaller formations, such as individual squads, platoons, or companies. Finally reaching the rank of commissar is the standard rank of these political officers, at least one being assigned per regiment of the Imperial Guard or voidship of the Imperial Navy. It is their duty to encourage the men of the Imperial Guard regiments to fight, fighting alongside the regiment's officers and taking control when morale is failing or the men are not fighting with sufficient zeal. In such situations, a commissar can take over command from an officer and summarily execute any men who tries to flee. Even a colonel of the regiment must be sure to display courage and zeal at all times when a commissar is watching them. Commissar Captain is a rarely seen rank that is an intermediary's position between a full commissar and a Commissar General. Though the practical role of a Commissar Captain is not easily defined, it has been observed that the commissars who maintain this rank have been seen supervising at all regimental levels. Colonel Commissar is a very rare rank, conferred upon a commissar only in an unusual or extraordinary circumstance. This rank refers to those commissars awarded regimental command rank and charged with commanding an Imperial Guard regiment. Though the award of such a rank occurred as recently as the Sabbath World's Crusade to Colonel Commissar Ibram Gaunt of the Tanith 1st and only Regiment, following the destruction of Tanith. The inherent conflict between the performance of the dual roles of commissar and regimental commanding officer is normally seen as a threat to a regiment's discipline by a commissariat. Lord Commissars are senior-ranking commissars promoted to this esteemed rank after displaying exemplary battlefield service. The battlefield heroics of a Lord Commissar are often the stuff of legends to the average guardsman. The Commissariat has oversight authority over all branches of the Imperial military, which would include the Planetary Defense Forces, but does not include the Adeptus Astartes, the Adeptus Sororitas, and Scutari soldiers of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Commissars assigned to these thankless positions are usually advanced in age, or have been subject to disciplinary action, thus connected to a planetary defense force. In practice, only a single commissar would be assigned to a PDF of an entire world, or even several planets within the subsector, playing little to no role in the activities of such forces. Therefore, the majority of these local planetary defense forces are ignorant of these commissars' existence. Commissar General is the most senior rank within the commissariat. Besides their usual duties, these highly experienced commissars are also tasked with the additional responsibilities of assigning commissars under their command to overwatch Imperial Guard officers and promoting commissar cadets to full commissar status. And those were 40 facts about the commissar. Now you guys know how to become a commissar. You have to be born an orphan into the Schola Progenium and then take it from there. The more lore I learn, the more I realize that if I were to be plucked out of this universe and put into the Warhammer 40k universe at my age, I wouldn't be able to do shit. Maybe join some Imperial Guard regiment, but even then, some of the more badass regiments like the Death Corps of Creed, those guys again are from birth to now, like they're constantly trained in fighting. So yeah, if you're above teenage years, you're screwed if you get put into the Warhammer 40k universe. Good luck. Join Chaos. Maybe the Chaos Gods will give you power. Another thing that might give you amazing powers is if you subscribe to the channel. So subscribe to the channel and hit the little notification button,
and one of the Chaos Gods will grant you a gift.
Let's hope it's not Nurgle, because then you'll have the plague or some shit. But again, guys, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and sharing. If you want to support us a little bit more, jump on over to Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos for you guys, and it gives us the support to do giveaways in the future. Thanks for everything, guys, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.